to you was, explain to you some of the options you've got on this thing, as far as a recourse on it.
Okay.
And the normal process is that sheriff's department under civil service? They're probably not. But there's anytime you've been discharged or wrongfully discharged, then you can go through circuit court on it and ask for a jury trial on it, and have all the evidence heard. And then, of course, if the sheriff wrongfully discharged you, then the courts will reinstate you. That's one way to do it. And of course, if another way to do it is if you feel like that there's been some type of civil rights violation, then you could go through the FBI on it.
Well, I've tried some of those same options that you outlined right now, Mr. Pope, and that's the reason I'm to the point right now, right, Senator Lott, is because I went through the proper channels. I filed an EEOC complaint based on discrimination, got the right to sue, and this matter was supposed to, when I filed my initial complaint with the EEOC, I was still employed. All right? When the sheriff found out about me filing a complaint, because now, the reason I filed a complaint was an audio tape with the chief deputy of his county, conspiring with an inmate, with a pretrial inmate to drop charges on an inmate if he'd come and plant something in my office. All right? That was the whole basis of me filing the EEOC charge. And at that point, I went to the U.S. Attorney's Office. And the FBI briefly came down and did a 30-minute interview with me and went back and basically said at that point that they didn't know if there was sufficient evidence for them to continue. But now, during the course of this AG's investigation, the sheriff initiated an Attorney General's investigation of me.
Right.
And several other people at the facility said that I had a deer stand built, which I did, and said that I used facility property. And every piece of lumber that went on that deer stand, I went to the hardware store and bought it. Now, there's nothing illegal about using state inmates for labor, because not everybody down there did it, including the sheriff.
Well, it is illegal, my friend. I mean, you can't use state inmates for anything other than for the county. I mean, you can't...
No, sir, that's not correct. They do it if that's the case...
They may do it, but I'm telling you, there's people that's been indicted down here for that.
Well, you're missing the whole point of it. If I have a state inmate build me a project and I take it and go sell it, that constitutes a felony. As long as it's being done for my personal use, they do it at Greene County, they do it at Rankin County, they do it at Parchman, and every other state facility every day.
Listen to me, my friend. It is a violation of Mississippi state law to do that. There's been people right here in Jackson County that's been indicted for stuff like that. Now, here's what you got to be careful on. If you probably violated the law, and if you're not careful, these folks are probably going to file criminal charges against you.
I'm not concerned about that, Mr. Pope. That's the least of my worries. Because now, if I had violated the law, trust me, they would have pursued it. It is not against our state statute as well as the Mississippi Department of Corrections statutes concerning state inmates, and I know it's not against the law. Now, what you may be speaking about is county inmates. I don't know. Have you ever worked with state inmates?
Well, I've worked with all of them. I've worked in my department.
Well, then you should know that every state, they take motors, replace motors and paint cars at Greene County and Parchman. How can that be a No, sir, personal vehicles.
Well, that's true. If they did, they violated the law.
Well, you might want to go back and research that, because that's not accurate what you're saying right now.
Here's what I suggest you do. You're the one that could get indicted on this. I suggest you get an attorney and you talk to him.
Oh, I have an attorney. Let me say this. I was investigated for 10 months by the Attorney General's office. And the conclusion of that investigation was that I had done nothing ethically or criminally wrong. So now, they knew I had the deer stand built. They knew that was part of the investigation.
Well, I won't argue that point with you. I mean, all I want to do is be sure that you understand, what you could be in.
Well, I'm not.
And I've done, what I'm duty bound to do.
I'm not worried about it.
Okay.
I could tell.
I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it.
Well, that's my point. Let's get back to the original issue. And the original issue is Senator Lott. What is Senator Lott's position on this subject?
Senator Lott's position is very simple. He does not have jurisdiction over an elected county sheriff in a personnel matter.
And no jurisdiction over the state attorney general's office or no other state agency.
In other words, Trent Lott is a federal legislator, and here's what you've got. You've got the legislative branch, the executive, and the judicial. The judicial is a court. Legislative is what Trent Lott's in. And he has no jurisdiction over a county elected sheriff, which is under state law.
Okay, so let me ask you this now. You know, I'm a college graduate in criminal justice, and I ain't the smartest person in the world, but I got a little sense. Now, Senator Lott is a state senator for the state of Mississippi.
Elected through the state of Mississippi to be a federal senator.
Okay.
Him and Ted Cochran.
Right, I'm aware of that. Let me finish my point. So now, all the issues that come up concerning the state, you mean that the senator never makes inquiries, picks up the phone and says, hey, what's going on with this situation? Or
no, sir, he never does, because the state is, you know what home rule is? Home rule separates the state of Mississippi from the federal government. Now, if there's a situation that arises as to who's got authority, that's decided by the courts. And the federal government has authority ultimately when it comes down to enforcing laws. But now, as far as Trent Lott having any jurisdiction over a county sheriff that's elected through state law, Mississippi state law, he has absolutely no jurisdiction in it. And it wouldn't even be proper for him to make an inquiry into an elected county sheriff who's under state law when Trent Lott is a federal senator. Now, he's elected by the state of Mississippi, but he's still not a state senator, he's a federal senator.
and you're speaking on Mr. Lott's behalf when you say that he's never made an inquiry into those type of situations.
I'm saying that he on this type of situation, that he won't make an inquiry on it because it's a personnel matter between you and the sheriff in Marion County.
What?
Plain and simple.
Okay.
And what I'm saying is that he has no jurisdiction even to make an inquiry into this any more than he would into a decision made by a judge.
Right. Okay, and the fact that federal agencies are involved, the Justice Department and the EEOC, that wouldn't give him jurisdiction on it as well either.
The federal agency determines by federal law whether they have the authority to make an investigation. Mm-hmm. But Trent Lott doesn't have anything to do with the investigation. I mean, he's a federal senator. He passes laws, but he doesn't have any authority to tell these federal agencies to prosecute or not to prosecute, or to proceed or not to proceed.
Well, let me ask you a question, Mr. Spoke. You say you've been in law enforcement all your life. When you go through the proper channels and don't get any recourse from the state agencies, I mean, what do you do? Well, if you got people that represent you,
here's what you do. By state law, you use all of the remedies at your disposal, and the remedies in your particular case is to file an appeal through the court system if you've been unjustly done, or if you've been unjustly treated or fired, now that's one way to do it. Then the other way to do it is if your civil rights have been violated, then your remedy is to go through a federal agency. Now, once you go through those agencies, if you don't get satisfaction, then you've used up all of your options as to what you can do. And it's plain and simple. Trent Lott has no jurisdiction over what an elected county sheriff does with his people.
Okay.
That's plain and simple. That's as easy, simplest way I know how to explain it. He does not have the authority to intervene over a county elected sheriff who's under state law when Trent Lott's under federal law.
Okay. Well, my last request here, Mr. Pope, is I'm not making it a headway here. Is you said Senator Lott read the letter, right?
He did indeed. He sent it to me.
Okay. Well, because I sent one to the Gulfport. Is this a Gulfport?
Well, if you sent one to Gulfport, I mean, they'll send him the same letter that you sent to us.
Okay, well, I sent one to Washington and Gulfport as well.
What I've got is Trent Lott. It went to 487 Russell Building in Washington, D.C.
Okay.
And Senator Lott talked to his attorneys there, and they have advised him that he has no jurisdiction in it. And since I've been in law enforcement, he wanted me to call you and explain this to you, that he'd be glad to help you in any federally related matter, but he has absolutely no jurisdiction in this. And he even told me to get you to talk to your attorneys. They can advise you that Trent Lott doesn't have any jurisdiction in this.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't ask Senator Lott to come down there and start a bonfire and roast people over it. All I was asking was that he make some inquiries into the situation, because now none of the state agencies here seem to be willing to do their job.
But let me tell you the other side of the coin. These state agencies that you're dealing with, like Mike Moore's office, they've got a staff of attorneys, and those attorneys know that Trent Lott doesn't have any jurisdiction in it. And if he wrote them a letter making an inquiry about this, they'd take it and throw it in the trash can. Because their attorneys has already advised them that Trent Lott doesn't have any jurisdiction in it.
Okay.
I mean, you know, Social Security, Internal Revenue, anything related to the federal government, we can make an inquiry for you. But we can't do it on something that's between you and a county sheriff over in Marion County.
So what's the matter has gone to the federal court system? You still can't make an inquiry into it?
He can't ethically make an inquiry into anything that a federal court judge has done.
Okay.
Because the judicial system is separate from the legislative system, which is what he's in. A federal judge can't write Trent Lott and say, why did you pass this certain law? He doesn't have the authority to do that because they're all separate federal agencies.
Okay. Well, my last request, I don't know who would actually have to do it, whether it would be, you know, maybe you or the senator himself, is I'd like to ask Senator Lott to just, you know, give me that in writing if he can't respond to this situation in any shape, form, or fashion.
No, we're not going to do that. We don't have the authority to give you anything in writing because we don't have any jurisdiction in it. And we're not going to give you anything in writing. That's why I wanted to pick up the phone and call you and talk to you.
Well, why would it be a problem getting Senator Lott saying he can't help me?
We're just not going to do that.
Well, I need to, how would I go about speaking to Senator Lott himself?
Well, you just have to call him on the phone and get on his call list at Washington, D.C.
Okay, can I have that number?